All right, it's Friday and it's craft day. Here we go. Haha, an owl. I bet you did not even see that coming. We are going to be making a toilet paper owl today. Isn't he cute? All right, so I said you had to have a toilet paper roll for sure. Some paper, some things to color with, something sticky, and scissors would be good, although I guess you could manage without them. Okay, so we're going to start this, and I'm going to scoot this guy out of the way for right now. Although before I do, I want to show you a different kind of paper towel, toilet paper roll owl. There's one my daughter made. So, I mean, these can look a million gazillion different ways. So there's two little examples right there. Okay. All right, let's start this guy off. So let's get your toilet paper roll. Now what you're going to do at the top to make these horns is you're going to press in on one side like that, and then you're going to press in on the other side. Okay, and this does not have to be perfect at all, just if we sort of have two kind of horns there at the top. Okay, that's the beginning of our owl. All right, so we're going to get a couple of things ready before we start. We're going to, before we start putting them on, we're going to get that little tiny beak. I thought it looked kind of cute to have a little tiny beak and really big eyes. It looks more cartoonish that way. You can see that on my daughter, she did actually a pop-up little beak right there, smaller eyes and little eyebrows. So I'm going to make it the way I did it, but you can make it any way you like. All right, here we go. So if you have a piece of yellow paper, you can use that for the beak. You could use orange. You could color a piece of white paper. So I'm just going to cut a little triangle off the side there. And this is actually going to be fairly small. Now, that triangle just looks too wide to me. So I am going to start on the side here, right at that point, and I'm just going to make it look a little bit smaller. So it now really looks like a triangle where all the sides are equal. Okay, so we have that kind of little triangle right there. So that is going to be the beak. And now we want to think about making the eyes. Now, to make the eyes, we're going to get ourselves a piece of white paper, but you can make eyes out of yellow paper, orange paper, or remember we talked about on the video that you can tell if owls are nocturnal, diurnal, or crepuscular depending on the color of their eyes. And since nobody agrees on great horned owls, you could make the eyes whatever color you want. Okay, you could even have purple eyes. I don't care. You do whatever floats your boat. Okay, so here we go to make the eyes. Now to make a perfect circle, I thought this would be a good idea. This is just the lid of my glue stick. Okay, and I'm going to use a Sharpie here. You can use a pencil, or if you've got a black marker, that's good too. And just go around. Okay, and so there we've got one eye. Now the thing that makes it look really impressive is to get a nice thick black line around the outside. Otherwise the white doesn't show up very well. So what you want to do after you get your circle drawn is you want to make that outside line nice and thick all the way around. Okay, just looks better. Easier to see. Looks more cartoonish, stands out. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Okay, and then you're just gonna, I have little bumps around the edges that don't look good, but I'm gonna cut those off anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, now you notice on this owl, I decided that he was gonna be cross-eyed, so I put the pupils of his eyes touching the inside of the circle. You don't have to do that. I've got two other eyes here where the eyes are just in the middle, like that. Or we could have the eyes looking off in other directions, or we could have one eye looking straight ahead and one eye wonky. So we could make him have troubled eyesight. Now, in this one, you'll see that I put a little glint in his eye. So a glint in the eye is where you get that little bit of reflection. So to do that, what you do is you draw a little space that you are not going to color in. Okay, so this is going to be the part that's going to stay white. And then you're going to use your black. If you don't have a black felt, you can use just a pencil and go really, really super dark. Try not to go outside the line like I just did right there. Okay, and the key here is to not leave any white spaces whatsoever. Sharpies are fantastic for this. Sharpies and stickies are the best invention ever. So we love our Sharpies and our stickies. Okay, so there we go. You can see I have not left any white spaces whatsoever. All right, so let's just pretend now that I have cut out my eyes, and try not to cut off the black that you worked to make around the outside. We want to keep that thick black line, so try not to cut off the black when you're cutting them. Okay, we've got our nose and we have got our eyes. Okay, we're going to put those aside for a little bit. And boys and girls, just pause the video when you need a chance to catch up or rewind it. Okay, now we're going to make his lovely little wings. Okay, and I said, you know, you can use any color paper for this. If you want him to have yellow wings, do it. Okay, I just have a piece of a box from Pop here, and I used the brown inside part of the box, but you can see that when my daughter did hers, she used the color from the outside of the box because the color is quite nice. So she just found a spot where there was no writing, and so, you know, you can do whatever you want there. Okay, so for the wings, okay, brown paper will do, the box will do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a sort of a half or a part of a circle, and it's sort of like a leaf shape, okay? And, you know, if you don't make it the right size, then draw it again and make it bigger, okay? Now, what I'm going to do with this leaf shape after I cut that out, let's see if I can find it, is after, let's just pretend I've cut that out. After I cut it out, now I have a tracer. So if I use the one that I've just cut out, now I will have two wings that are exactly the same size. Okay, so do the first one, cut it out, and then you have a tracer to do the second one. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut out that second one. And again, to make the wings look good, a great idea is just to use that black felt or Sharpie and go around the edges of the wing. You could even draw feathers or feather lines on the outside of the wing. Let's see what that might look like. Okay, so here's my two wings right there. And you know, you could do this sort of thing on the wings, little V's, okay? Or you could draw, you know, feather lines, anything you like. You could even cut out different colors and put them on there if you want to do a wackadoodle color kind of owl. Okay, so there we go. We've got eyes, nose, and we've got wings. Now, on this one, I put just some little jiggly lines there to mark the belly or the feathers on the breast of the owl. And so you could do that. You could cut out little squiggly lines. Another idea is to just cut out different colors of little circles and make a pattern, and that's what I'll use to do this one. Okay, I think I've got all my parts now. So now we need something sticky, so hopefully you've got glue or tape or something. We want to start with the nose because the eyes are going to go over the nose. Do you see that? The beak hides a little bit behind there. So let's see about how far down that is. I'm just going to take my best guess. I'm going to put a little bit of, this is a really old glue stick, so it's a little bit fussy. Just like you guys, I don't have all the right stuff at home. This is all my kids' leftover stuff from when they were in elementary school, so some of it is old. Okay, so there we go. We've got the nose. Oh, I probably should have done it on the other side. Okay, it looks better on this side because look, we don't like that. Okay, so let's try again. Let's put it right there. Okay, and then we're going to put a little bit of stickiness here for the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna take my eyes, and again I'm gonna overlap a little. I'm not gonna put them up like that. I'm gonna overlap them a little bit over the beak. Okay, and here's my other one. It looks kind of cute sometimes if you overlap the eyes like that as well, or you could put them just side by side. I'm gonna overlap this guy. Okay, my daughter had the idea of making a cyclops owl when she was making hers, but she didn't do it. You could make a one-eyed owl if you want to make a really weird owl. Go right ahead. Okay, let's get those wings on there. So we're going to put the wings on the side. I've got to really press hard for this guy here. And you could have your wings like this. You could have your wings at an angle. I kind of like that. Maybe I want my owl wings to stick out a little bit on this guy, so I'm going to put them at a bit of an angle. Okay, and then we'll get some sticky stuff over here on this side, and I'm going to get this wing to stick out a little bit as well. That's kind of cute because now you can see his wings from the front, right? So that's a little bit different than the one I did before. If you compare them, the wings are a little flatter on the one I did before. You could even make the wings, you know, going right out like that. Just do what you want. There's a lot of do what you want on this one. Okay, so there's my owl so far. He's super cute. Now for the belly, I'm going to get as much stickiness on there as I can. The glue. Tape is harder, glue is obviously easier. Okay, and you can tell that my glue is 1,000 years old. It's not really looking that great. Okay, so now I'm going to take these little circles that I cut out. Oops, he's losing his wing. And I'm just going to make a little pattern here. Okay, so it sort of looks like feathers that are overlapping each other like that. And underneath, I'll go like that. And if I kept on cutting out circles, I could just go all the way down. Okay, that's all the circles I have cut out for today, so I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, and outside I found a stick that sort of had a little bend in it. That was just in my backyard. And you might find a couple of little pine cones to go with your owl like that. And my daughter also had this idea of getting the top of a little pine cone and making a hat for the owl. So if you want to do that, that's a bit tricky to get it. Probably tape would work on that to make a little hat. Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. I would like you to make your owl, take a picture of it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your pictures and post them for the rest of the class to see, and then you can all look at each other's artwork. I'm going to show you one more little picture here with just some other ideas. Okay, so there's some other ideas. I love the pink purpley owl. You could make a Batman owl. You could make an Avenger owl. You could do anything you want. Okay, so let's see what kind of creativity you guys can come up with at home, and I'm looking forward to seeing your owls.